comprehend. As a drop of water in the sea, as a grain of sand on the shore, are our few days in eternity. The good things in life last for a short time, but a good reputation endures forever. Arthur Lipman was 91 years old when he died this past Saturday. He left behind 3 children, Janice, Deborah, and Bob, as well as his grandchildren, Brian, Alicia, and Eric, and his great-grandkids, Jake, Zach, and Alex. His death followed that of his wife, Wilma, by about 14 months. Wilma and Arthur were married for 69 loving years. Theirs was a truly romantic relationship. Deborah writes, "There never was and never will be again another Arthur M. Lipman. He has gone on to join his Hollywood gorgeous wife, our mother Wilma. You really can see the love in his eyes in each and every photo that we took of them together." And we have a bunch of them over here, by the way. And there's one really good one where they're doing the limbo. You got to check that out. Just look at him. Go ahead and look. Do you see it? Referring to the love in his eyes. Arthur attended aeronautics school at LaGuardia Airport after his high school graduation. He served in the Army Air Force in Biloxi, Mississippi. He engaged in mechanical repair and technical planning. His son Bob described to me with pride his father's love of all things aeronautical. He passed on to his son his air traveling excitement. When Bob was a boy, his father would stand with him as close as they could to the 747 planes at Kennedy Airport. And Bob is now a world traveler in his own right. You live in France. Arthur especially loved flying around the world at home on his flight simulator. He shared this hobby with many armchair simulator lovers around the world. Deborah says that her father walked the talk. When he set his mind on something, there was no shaking it. He was a work animal, and he especially enjoyed working with tools. He built with his hands a room for his wife's father, who was widowed and who had come to live with the family. Arthur first supported his family as the owner of a garage-based egg business. He soon prospered and developed skills and advanced contacts. He owned a kosher butcher shop and later a deli and catering business in Great Neck, New York, Long Island, New York. He was proud that he could count as loyal customers Peter Nero, Buddy Hackett, and Alan King. Arthur had a determined mindset, his family says, on planning and designing anything, especially meals. He was a stickler for the menu details. He would lay awake all night long, thinking of ingredients for the dishes that he was anticipating. Even up to his 90th birthday, he ordered and planned the following main course: a 4-bone, first cut, prime, standing rib roast. He was a butcher. Arthur's family describes him as culturally Jewish. He had a definite pride in the Jewish people. Janice notes that whenever her father would watch a movie, he would point out to everyone which actor was Jewish, showing pride in his identification with that person. Deborah notes that her father had a great sense of humor. He loved corny jokes and silly puns. They were his way of engaging others with a shared smile. For example, he asked, "Is there a 4th of July in England?" And the answer would be, "Of course not in England." And he would go on, "Well, why not? In London, does the date jump from July 3rd to July 5th? Thank you. The family thanks you.
Daddy thanks you.
Arthur liked risque humor and plays on words. Bob smiled as he remembered this one from his father. "So, how is it out today?" "Well, I don't know. I haven't had it out today." Janice notes that her father had a sharp mind. He had an encyclopedic knowledge of nature. He watched Animal Planet shows regularly on TV. He knew all the facts of animal behavior, animal groupings, animal habits. He loved taking nature walks. He was such a sucker, his family says, for baby animals, especially puppies. And Arthur loved sports. He loved golf, for example. Over a lifetime, he earned 5 hole-in-ones or holes-in-one. But he never took credit for them based upon his skill. He ascribed it to luck. He was a starter and a course ranger at several golf clubs in Boca Raton and also on Long Island. He loved the football Giants and the Yankees. Tell me if I'm going to get this right, Bob, okay? Bob recounts his dearest memory, which took place on his 10th birthday. So picture this. Father and son are in the car. They're on the Long Island Expressway on the way to a Yankees game at the stadium. This is a birthday celebration just for the two of them. And it's raining cats and dogs. On the radio comes the announcement that the game is now canceled. Bob tells me, "My dad sees that I'm disappointed. He thinks quickly and he finds something else we can do to celebrate my birthday. He finds a movie theater right there off the LIE. And together we see Divorce American Style and also The Dirty Dozen." My dad turned a complete disappointment into a magical experience. Did I get that right? Deborah notes that her father, check this, had spilkus, meaning ants in the pants. In the house, we would always hear, "Hurry up and wait, Artie." He always had to be busy. He had such heart. For example, when we were kids, Janice and I were very afraid of needles. My dad would get the doctor to give him a fake shot first, to show that needles could not hurt us. He would always be the protective father and husband. Brian, Deborah's son, told me, "When I was a child, I was afraid of thunder and lightning. Once, when a storm was approaching, my grandfather took me out on the porch, and he showed me the beauty of the weather. He taught me how to figure out how far away the lightning was from us by counting the seconds after the flash until the thunder sound. From then on, I was enthusiastic about weather and storms. My grandfather also taught me to appreciate classical music, like the orchestral music to Peter and the Wolf." Bob notes that his father loved music, and Bob likes music just a little bit. He was really a good dancer, Bob says, and he had that hip dance move. Swivel hips move. He especially loved Glenn Miller music. Janice notes that her father was a people person. The last thing he was concerned about was himself, she says. It wasn't about what he wanted, it was about what you wanted. He was very humble, and he didn't like wise guys or blowhards. Here is what Janice wrote this past Saturday. "Our beloved father left us last night. We thought he was invincible. In 2010, he was the oldest patient to be given a stem cell transplant at that time at Moffitt Cancer Center in Tampa." And this is what Deborah wrote on Saturday. "We lost Dad today. I'm still trying to wrap my brain around it. I can only be grateful that he didn't suffer more than he had to. He didn't suffer more than he wanted to. My father was the bravest, most honest, most loving, most humble, most amazing man I have ever known. Those that have known him were all touched by his amazing generosity of the heart. I am so grateful for my life with him. The last few years living with him were gifts that I will cherish for the rest of my life."
It was good of the dog to dress in black today.
Eternal God who comforts mourners, the life of one who loved and longed for is now a memory. Although our gratitude for that precious life is great, our anger and misery over the loss can sometimes overwhelm us. Yours, Adonai, is the fountain of life. By your light do we see light. Illuminate our darkness, send us comfort and consolation. Help us to embody the worthy qualities of our beloved. Grant us the determination and the strength to extend that life by helping us enrich the lives of others. Thus will Arthur Lipman's presence continue among us. Thus will our family's life continue in spite of loss. Thus will his memory endure as a blessing forever, and let us say, Amen. El malei rachamim, shechein b'mromim, ha'hametzei menucha nechona, tachat kanfei hashchina, b'mahalot kedoshim u'tahorim, kezohar harakia mazhirim, et ishmat Arthur Lipman shalach liolamo. B'gan Eden tiyeh menuchato, hana ba'ala rachamim hastireu b'seiter kanafecha liyaholamim. Uhoterar b'tzrar hachayim et nishmato. Adonai hu nachlato. V'yanuach b'shalom al mishkafo. V'na'amar Amen. We rise for the Kaddish. Please share with each other. We ask the mourners to recite it along with me, and we invite those that wish to recite along with them as well. It's the second half of the page that we have. Yitgadal, Yitgadash, Shmei Rabbah, V'yalmad Yifrachutei, V'yamlich Malchutei, V'chayechon, U'v'yomechon, U'v'chayei B'chol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala U'v'zman Tarif, V'yiru Amen. Yehei Shmei Adam V'orach, Le'olam V'yolmei Olmayah. Yitbarach, Yishtabach, V'yitba'ar, V'yitromam, V'yitnaseh, V'yithadar, V'yithaleh, V'yithalal, Shemei D'Kudusha B'Richu.